What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video. And today, it's actually been a while because we're pretty deep in the season. I felt like I did cover a lot of things. A guide, a tutorial, but not like a standard tutorial. And today we're going to talk about something that literally affects every match of Dragon Ball Sparking. Okay. So if you've been following this channel for a while, I know I really started going hard this year, but last year I actually made a video about sparking because one of the things about Dragon Ball that kind of sucks is that the in-game tutorial is not good. The game is not good at teaching you how to play the game. So people didn't know little details about sparking, like, oh, you can hold to vanish, or oh, your super dash doesn't bounce off and stuff like that. Now, it's not 2018 anymore. It's almost 2020. We pretty much know all the stuff sparking does. There's some small things that people don't necessarily know. Most people know, yeah, you do more damage in sparking. Yeah, your assists come back faster in sparking. Yeah, you build more meter in sparking. But there's small details like you do more blue damage in sparking. As in there's less recoverable life the opponent gets when you hit them in sparking. But for the most part, at least at mid-level or so, pretty much everyone knows what sparking does. So the real thing I want to talk about today is how to use it and why you use it. Because at the base level, it's when do you use sparking? That's the first question you have. And I have two answers for you. You can use it offensively or defensively. And let's start with defensively because that's where most people start with sparking. So one of the things about sparking, of course, is that there are 3 levels depending on how many characters you have. When you have all your characters, 7 seconds, 2 characters, 14 seconds, 3 characters, 1 character, backwards, 21 seconds, right? So the less characters you have, the stronger you get. So a new Dragon Ball player might say, well, of course, I should save my sparking for my last character because my last character is going to be super strong. And that sounds like it makes sense. But what ends up happening at high level a lot is that people try to preserve their whole team. Why? I'm going to use an example that has nothing to do with this. It's in the game though, but it's going to make sense when I connect it, right? Think about Android 18, right? Good character. She performs. We see her perform in tournament. But people didn't pick her because they don't like that you can't combo with her assist. What does that have to do with sparking? There are people out there who are willing to save sparking for the end of the game, but they don't want to pick 18 because she doesn't have an assist. What do these two have in common? When you lose characters that you can use assist for. When you lose characters, losing your character means you lose an assist for comboing, an assist for pressure, an assist for mix-up. It's harder to enforce your turn. It's a big deal. So people really want to preserve their teams at high level, right? Take my team here, right? So my team has 2 game plans, but I want to preserve the primary game plan. The backup plan is called the backup plan for a reason. You don't want to default to your backup plan. You want to protect your team. That's the default, right? If you see a high-level player ending up with 1 character or having sparking with 1 character, it's usually because things didn't really work out that game. Oh, I was trying to time my sparking for here, but they did something unexpected and killed my character or something like that. Or I got touch of death and I didn't know what was going to happen or something like that. Besides that, generally defensively, people really try to preserve their team. You'll see it over and over and over again. But then you also have another type of defensive sparking, which is not just about protecting character, but it's also about preserving a situation. And pretty much the most common time you see it now is for snaps, because one of the main changes about sparking in Season 2 is that you can spark in block stun. Okay, and it is extremely difficult to bait this. Last year, you could only do sparking outside of block stun, right? So there were a lot of ways to bait sparking, and when we reached the snap meta, when we reached that level of Dragon Ball, of enlightenment in Dragon Ball, it got to the point where you could snap somebody in, and their only chance of sparking was right when they came in, and you could bait that sparking. It was actually pretty bad and pretty rough. So now with the new guard cancel sparking, it's super hard to bait both. Like you can bait one or the other, but it's really hard to bait both. Really hard, or like practically impossible to bait both. They did a really good job making this mechanic. So now the other place you'd use defensive sparking is if you are put into an especially difficult snap situation, right? And now there's a few of them between characters: Teen Gohan, Adult Gohan, Piccolo, GT, Android 18. There are a bunch of characters that will really, really, really give you a hard time after they snap you. So now you have another way to use snap where you don't have to hard commit out of block stun. You can kind of wait, sit there, see if they touch you, and then spark back. Now the other type of sparking, main type of sparking, would be offensive sparking, which you don't actually hear about that much, offensive sparking. But offensive sparking is much more simple than defensive sparking, and it's in the name, right? So it's not actually using sparking for offense, because we know, like, right, your offense is better. You could jump cancel things you can't normally jump cancel. You have air dash cancels, right, as you can see here. The point blank super dash that you don't bounce off anymore, so you get opportunities to stay in. It's not that, really. Offensive sparking in my head is when you use sparking to kill a character. So for example, a perfect example right here is, like, let's say I turn on guard cancel, right? Okay. Goodbye. He's dead. We all know he's dead, right? That is offensive sparking. You spend sparking to take a character. So if we step back and look at these two definitions, then it's either you spend sparking to take their character, take one of their characters, or protect one of your characters. Pretty simple, right? When you put it like that. There are some teams, I'm going to jump back to defensive sparking, there's some teams and some characters where you might legitimately be like, I want to save my sparking for them. Yamcha might be one, Trunks might be one. Generally it's characters that have strong offense in sparking, because not all characters sparking are created equal, right? So for example, if we talk about Teen Gohan, he's got guard cancel, he's got the infinite block strength thing going on, or like how Adult Gohan has a 2H into air dash jump medium that's airtight. Like, not all characters have these type of tools. A lot of characters have different little unique properties on their moves that change even more when you are in sparking, so I highly encourage you to research those. Now, outside of these times of like how you use them, like how, why, when kind of thing, offensive, defensive, there is also what it does to the game, because again, this is like the comeback mechanic of the game. So of course, like a defensive sparking, you want to protect your character, but when you're playing against that, like, how do you think about this? So especially if you play a team that has like a really tight, like you manage to build a win condition in the game, which is not easy to do. You kind of have to think when you're playing against defensive sparking, like, okay, it's not just that they're trying to protect their character. When you use a defensive sparking, you are also, your goal, your first goal, protect your character. Your second goal, take the enemy's character before they spark you back. You will see this a lot in high level matches, and it's to the point where I did some commentary pretty recently where, like, in some of the matches, I'm kind of like, this match didn't even start yet because, like, both players didn't use sparking yet. How you use your sparking is really, really important, but just remember that the main thing is protect your character, take a character, and go from there. Cool. Hopefully that makes sense. Leave any questions in the comments if you have any. Like if you feel like it, subscribe if you feel like it as well, and I will see you next time.